Welcome to Special Stage and welcome to a very sunny Lincolnshire Wolds to Cadwell Park for the final round of the Motorsport New Circuit Rally Championship. The title fight comes down to the wire, but there's a catch. Paul Swift comes here 1 point in the lead, although he doesn't come here. He's in China with commitments as a stunt driver. Instead of backing his Mark II Escort off the trailer this morning in the paddock, he was backing a Ford GT onto a show stand. So Ian Woodhouse looks favourite, but Steve Quigley could still do it if Ian Woodhouse finishes 27th or lower on the leaderboard and Steve Quigley becomes first or second. With the weather conditions looking like this, it's a tall ask, but anything can happen. We've seen that so far this season. It's not just that championship fight we've got to keep our eyes on this weekend, though. We've got no less than two X-Works World Rally Championship cars in the hunt, in the top 10 here, including double British champion Johnny Milner out in an X-Colour Science Celica GT4. And there's a whole host of other people, including that man behind me, David Tin, last time winner of this event, looking to make it two on the bounce. One thing is for certain, the action out there will be hot in more ways than one. Welcome to Cadwell Park. So a quick look at the entry then, and it's last year's event winner David Tin leading the cruiserweight. Chris West in the Peugeot 306 Maxi second on the road and sure to be entertaining the crowds today. And Ian Woodhouse and Steve Quigley in that championship battle not far behind those two. Onto the stages then, and it would be the early lead for last year's winner, David Tin and Giles Dykes. They open up a small advantage in that place to take the lead by just 3 seconds after stage 2. There will be a surprise in second place. Jamie Elston and Sean Ridlington catching people off guard with their pace in the opening stage, recording a fastest time overall before settling into second place after the second stage of the day. The pair throwing themselves into the mix of possible event winners in that Subaru this weekend. Chris West and Keith Hounslow make a good start to the rally with third. They were just a single second behind Elston at this stage and leading the way in the class as well. Johnny Milner, rally legend no less, joins us in the championship once again, this time with daughter Katie alongside. They were lucky to still be going though after this moment on stage 1 almost put them out of the rally early on. They do recover and continue to end stage 2 with 4th place overall and just one more story for the grandkids. The championship this weekend was looking fairly secure then for Ian Woodhouse and Paul Rowland. But there was still an outside chance it could be taken from underneath them, so they couldn't relax just yet. They end the morning's opening pair of stages with 5th place on our leaderboard, just doing what they needed to do for that title race. Martin Hodgson and Tony Jones had the gloves off. They were getting back in on the fight at the top of the results once again, ending this loop with 6th place overall, as well as 3rd place in Class D. Steve Quigley and Peter Littlefield were the only crew with an outside chance of the championship this weekend. It was a slim chance, some of which was out of their hands, but they of course would be trying. 7th place was theirs for now after 2 stages. And Graham Bell and Russ Radford make a steady start to the morning to end stage 2 with 8th place on the leaderboard in the Proton. The times were close though, with only 20 seconds separating the top of the leaderboard so far. Mike Taylor and Martin Haggett, meanwhile, will be happy with their start as well, taking 9th place at this stage and 4th in the class, just 3 seconds behind Bell at this stage. Rounding out the top 10 were Mike Bayliss and Sam Bailey. Mike crashing out early on here last year and of course not looking to repeat that this weekend despite Cadwell being his favourite circuit in the championship. In some of the classes outside the top 10, it would be 2nd place in Class C for John Richardson and Eric Wilcoxon. They end the early stages with 11th place overall. Roger Duckworth and Mark Broomfield have a slightly slower start than they would have wanted, ending stage 2 with 12th place on the leaderboard, 5th in the class. They will be looking to increase the pace then going into the next few stages of the day. And forever sideways, Gary Mason, with John Matthews alongside as usual. It will be 3rd place in Class C at this stage. The pair having fun as always in the Escort and lying in 15th place overall. Fourth in that class, just 3 seconds back from Mason, were Kevin Boyle and Irene Lucy. The fight for that class podium would be close into the next couple of stages. And Ben and Andrew Wilkinson make a good start to the rally, leading the way in Class B at this stage, as well as 17th place overall in the Saxo. And for Stuart Ramby and Ian Bass, it will be 5th place in Class C now, lying in 24th on the overall leaderboard too. With Wilkinson out in front in Class B, it will be 2nd place in the class for Andy Graham and Ian Owen at this stage. They were, however, a few places back overall in 26th. Graham would have a very slim advantage of 4 seconds in that place over these men Mark and John Burton, in the hunt for the Class B championship victory this weekend, doing exactly what they needed to do just now. And in Class A, it will be Paddy and Tom Homan with the lead in the class and in 38th overall. And they would have just 3 seconds of an advantage, showing just how close it was across the overall results over this pair, Anthony and Peter Mann. Their fight, however, would be in Class B, where they were lying in 4th place at this stage. Meanwhile, for Chris Bellamy and Ashley Thorpe, it will be 5th place in the class, just 4 seconds back from Mann and ready to push through the next loop of stages. In Class A, it will be 2nd place in the class for Mark Annison and Ian Humphrey at this stage, 46th place overall for the pair. And Sam Johnson and Joe Morgan would end the morning's opening stages with 3rd place in the class, just 4 seconds back from Annison in the class and overall results. And things would be even closer for Ben Cross and James Seymour, just a single second back from Johnson, but with a 10-second penalty, without which they would have been 2nd in the class at this stage. For Ian Barnes and Stuart Popplewell, it would be 5th place in Class A at this stage, 52nd on the leaderboard too. So we've reached the end of a dramatic 2 stages so far. It's the lead once again for David Tin, looking to repeat his win from last season, but he was being chased down by plenty, hungry and capable of victory. On to the next couple of stages then, and there would be change at the top. Johnny and Katie Milner would stay out of trouble in this loop, gaining some valuable time back and ending stage 5 with a 9-second advantage out in the lead of the rally.
Driving this car as intended.
I've never had the chance to drive this. It's a quick story. I should have driven this car for 2001 for the British Rally Championship, but foot and mouth came, so I never got a chance to drive it. Wow, what a car. No wonder Diddy Howell didn't want to go to the 205.
No change for Jamie Elston and Sean Ridlington in these stages. They remain 2nd place overall and in the class, still impressing and indeed still surprising some with their pace this weekend.
What an exciting rally so far.
Yeah, it's good. It's very good. It's very, very fast. Very hard work in the cars. Very hard work. So we're seeing how we get on. The temperature's mega hot now, so we will have to shoot off because it is very hot.
For Chris West and Keith Hounslow in that dramatic Peugeot 306 Maxi, it will be the class lead and 3rd overall. They'd have a near miss of their own in the same place that caught Milner out on the first stage of the day, but they get away with it just like Milner did, just with a bit of tyre smoke and probably a few seconds lost.
Well, once again, you're mixing things up out there.
Yeah, trying to. We've not had a great day. I had a spin and lost a few seconds. We had a misfire on stage 2, and that one I've just outbraked myself at the merge and lost probably another 5 or 6 seconds, so that was my fault. The co-driver called it, I just didn't suck it in. But hopefully we'll just keep it on and see where we're at the end.
A scary moment in stage 4 would be a reminder for Ian Woodhouse and Paul Rowland that they still needed a finish. They were still pushing, but they would have to balance that with a sensible approach as well. They lie in 4th place for now.
No doubt by now you know, and you're perfecting that handshake for the end of the day.
Yeah, that's it. We know. Still have to get to the end of the day, but we had a scary moment on stage 4 there, nearly on 2 wheels, nearly rolled it, but yeah, we're still pushing. We still have to try and get in the podium on this event.
It's been a championship drive all season. This is the last leg.
It is, yeah. Thank you very much, mate.
And for Martin Hodgson and Tony Jones, still in the fight, it would be a move up to 5th place. Things going well so far. The pair just 12 seconds back from Woodhouse in the class and overall positions. Graham Bell and Russ Radford were happy enough with their pace. They lie in 6th place now and we're enjoying the sunshine, providing them with plenty of grip out there on the circuit.
Battle of the Protons out there. You've been mixing it up.
Yeah, we're just here to make the numbers up today, I think. But at least the weather's fine anyway.
Frustratingly for David Tin and Giles Dykes, the lead was no longer theirs. Things were going well up until the point the power steering failed, causing them to lose time, dropping from the top of the results to 7th. But of course the fight wasn't over yet for last year's winner.
Well, it's been a more frantic day than you were expecting, perhaps.
Yeah, we had 1 or 2 problems. We had an off on the first stage. And then after that we've had a issue with the power steering pipe, but that's rallying, we fixed it. So we're on a bit of a mission now, see if we can catch them up. I don't think we'll catch them quite, but we won't be far away by the end of the day. It's all fun.
The championship battle would take a big twist in these stages as well. Steve Quigley and Peter Littlefield unfortunately causing some damage to the car when they hit a tyre, meaning they're forced to pull over and await recovery. Championship hopes for the pair gone once again. Roger Duckworth and Mark Broomfield in the X-Works Impreza were increasing the pace as the stages went on. Happier now with the times and moving up to 8th place on the leaderboard.
Roger, fantastic to see this car out and going so well here.
Well, not for the first 2 we weren't. We had a bit of a boost problem, so we went very slowly for the first 2, but now we're back on it and enjoying it.
You certainly turned it up for stage 3.
Well, yeah, basically from stage 3 onwards, we're back on the money.
And Mike Taylor and Martin Haggett were continuing their good run. They lie in 9th place for now, happy with the times and looking for another good result to add to the ones already racking up this season.
Pull back, we're starting to crawl up now, I think up to 8th overall, so going well, can't complain. Good day, nice hot weather, good for the tyres.
And still rounding out our top 10 were Mike Bayliss and Sam Bailey. Still going well out there, and of course, importantly, the car was still on all 4 wheels.
I love Cadwell, it's my favourite track when I'm not crashing, that is, which I did last time. But yeah, in the dry, somewhere like this, great. Slide it around, wonderful.
In the classes outside the top 10, there would be all change in Class C. The loss of Quigley from the top of that class, of course, means that it's Gary Mason and John Matthews taking that position midway through the rally.
Afternoon, have you been perfecting your Scandinavian flicks?
Been going well today, lot of opportunities today, messing about with the tyres, so yeah, doing all right at the minute. Not sure, I think we've done something to the front wheel that time, but still got round all right.
They'd still be chased by Kevin Boyle and Irene Lucy, second in the class, but the gap to the new class leaders had grown a little now as the stages went on. There will be no problems to report for Stuart Ramby and Ian Bass. They end the morning with 3rd place in the class, lying in 18th place on the leaderboard too. And talking of Class C, there's change to 4th in the class now, with Benjamin and Steve Smith stepping up to take that position, enjoying a good run so far in that Peugeot 205. And there's change to 5th place in the class as well, as we see Paul Lawrence and Dane Walker step up to take 5th in the class and 22nd on the leaderboard. Class B would see some changes in this loop, as we lose Ben and Andrew Wilkinson from the top of the class, being replaced by this man, Andy Graham, with Ian Owen alongside. The new class leaders lying in 24th overall.
Hello, iconic colour scheme.
Yeah, this won the very first rally that I ever watched when I was 18. Hannu Mikkel, Arnie Hertz in 1978 on the RAC. Apart from it isn't exactly the same car, but externally it looks the same.
Oh wow!
Apart from the little win that's on the front, because I lost my mum early in January. Her name was Winnie.
That, of course, means change for Mark and John Burton. Second in the class for the pair now, and doing what they needed to do for the championship at this stage. For Chris Bellamy and Ashley Thorpe, it would be 3rd place in the class. They'd be around 30 seconds back from Burton, but would be keeping the pressure on into the afternoon stages. Still no change in the Class A lead meanwhile. Paddy and Tom Homan continue to hold that position going into our afternoon stages here at Cadwell Park. For Paul Steventon and Jeff Roberts, it will be 4th place in Class B at the end of the morning stages, 37th place overall. And for Mike Thornton and Dave Scrimgower, it will be a further 18 seconds back from Steventon in 5th place, 38th overall. There'd be some changes in Class A, but not to 2nd place. Mark Annison and Ian Humphrey continue to hold on to that position into the afternoon. And indeed, so would Sam Johnson and Joe Morgan. They keep hold of their third place in the class going into the afternoon stages of the rally. Change in the class, though, would come in fourth place. Ian Barnes and Stuart Popperwell now lying in that position at the end of 5 stages. And there's more change through stage 5 as well. Tim Andrews and Cara Bolch stepping up on our leaderboard, over from the Isle of Man to compete on the rally this weekend. So with the midway point reached, it's all change at the top, and indeed through the results in some of the classes as well.
Well, one of the attractions this weekend is not only the car behind me, but also its driver. And very nearly, this was part of Johnny Milner's British Rally Championship story. Tell me about that, Johnny, before we get on to who's co-driving for you.
It was, yes, it was originally going to be used, well, a 185 Group A was going to be used for the 2001 British Rally Championship, but then foot and mouth came and nothing happened, so we got sold all the Group N cars, and along came a famous Corolla. And the rest is history. So this Duncan owns this car also, and he wants to make it an official car, so it needs to be made left-hand drive again because it's been Irished and made right-hand drive.
But it was Carlos's car back in the day.
It was Carlos's Australia car, not the one that rolled end to end to end, but it was one car that Carlos used in Australia, and yeah, awesome. I'm amazed by it.
Well, your story needs no introduction. 2002, 2003 British Rally Champion, a legend of the sport no less, and back here competing. We had the Corolla last time, but perhaps a future legend of the sport is stood behind you. Your daughter, who's co-driving for you, last year's junior saloon car champion, Katie. And Katie, you've been making a lot of noise in the winter season on the build-up to your new season. Just tell us what you'll be doing this year.
So this year I'll be racing the Ginetta GT5 Challenge. The first round's actually next weekend on Easter Monday at Alton. So we've been really busy testing with that, getting used to a new car, and I'm stepping up to adults now, so it's going to be a lot more challenging.
And that's a series that supports the British Touring Car Championship, isn't it, the Ginettas?
Yeah, we have 2 rounds with the touring cars, Knockhill and Thruxton. So, I mean, the other rounds run with British GT, so the spectator numbers are going to be pretty much the same at both of them, so yeah, it's going to make it really exciting.
Now, I know that rally cars, racing cars are not the only horsepower that has made it into the Milner family story. I know horses themselves are in there somewhere, but you were always going to follow in your old man's footsteps at some time or other. I know you guys started out in the grass track circuit, didn't you?
Yeah, I did 3 years in that. I was reserve national and British champion, didn't quite get there. But then we were looking at making the move to rallycross, but I think I fancied racing people more, so I took the step to circuits.
Now, whenever we talk to someone who's a lady who's doing well in motorsport, it risks looking patronising, and that's not the reason we do it. We do it because there simply are not enough of you competing either. But you're out there as a real ambassador for ladies in motorsport. You've got Kathy Stewart here as well. You've got some ladies competing in this championship, but it's really important that they see people like you and are inspired. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's only 4% women licence holders out of everyone, so you know we do need a big push to get more women in. But at the end of the day, when we've all got our suits and our helmets on, we're all just racing drivers. So it doesn't really bother me, to be honest, that I'm the only girl on the grid.
That's a Milner talking. I love that. Right, guys, at the moment you're leading by a second going into the afternoon stages or something like that. It's a heck of a fight out there. It's brilliant to have you in. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks.
On to the next couple of stages then, and there will be no change to the lead. Johnny and Katie Milner still managing to hold off any advance from behind, and there were plenty of those. The advantage still only 9 seconds.
We're going very well, yeah. It's Katie's doing a real good job for being a circuit race driver and never doing a rally. I'm proud dad.
There'd be change in second place though, chasing Chris West and Keith Hounslow taking that position after a big push over these stages. The win clearly on their mind. The times were close and the fight would be ongoing into the final 2 stages of the rally.
Do we think we can push for the win?
I don't think so. He's absolutely flying. There's not a lot left in it for us. I mean, that was a good one. We'll see what we had out of him. He was 14 in front of us. We matched him on the last one. We had a real big push then, but I don't know. He's absolutely flying. Take that off to him. Fair play.
For Ian Woodhouse and Paul Rowland, things were still going to plan. The pressure of the championship was off now, and they could just concentrate on getting to the finish in one piece this weekend. Third place was theirs at this stage.
Still all going well for the championship?
Yeah, just for a Sunday drive now really, knowing that we've won it, so yeah, just keep it on the tarmac, keep going and job's alright.
It's frustration after such an impressive start for Jamie Elston and Sean Ridlington. A bit of time lost in these stages, only a handful of seconds, but it was enough given how close things were to drop them down to 4th place now. Only a single second behind our championship favourite Woodhouse.
There's a bit of damage to the side of the car. Any problems?
No, we just got jammed up in the middle of the tight bit of tyre was out and we just slid into it and got jammed up. So it's just cosmetic, but it probably dropped 10 seconds again.
David Tin and Giles Dykes, meanwhile, were enjoying their comeback from the earlier power steering problems. They end this loop with 5th place on the leaderboard, just a single second back from Elston too.
Great stage. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Car's fantastic as always. We've had a slight problem with the power steering pipe earlier, but nothing to worry about. We're on it now. We're clawing back. I think we're back up to 5th, possibly took another place on that stage. So we're playing catch up, but no, we're having a great day. Cadwell, lovely place to be.
And things were still going to plan for Graham Bell and Russ Radford. They end the loop with 6th place overall. Times were looking good. The pair were maintaining that position and piling on the pace, perhaps looking at getting in that fight later in the rally.
How's your afternoon going?
Better than this morning. Just chasing that fat old guy in front of us. But I think it's going to be tight.
No problems for Martin Hodgson and Tony Jones in these stages. The only issues they were having would be wearing out the tyres too quickly in these unusually hot conditions. They end this loop with 7th place on the leaderboard, 3rd in the class.
Afternoon, how's your day going?
Very well. It's a bit warm. Yeah, a bit warm and we're wearing tyres out quite good, but apart from that, it's fantastic.
Roger Duckworth and Mark Broomfield were still putting in some good times. The damage may already have been done with that slow start in the morning though. They end this loop in 8th place overall, 5th in the class.
You're back on the pace, but it looks like you might have hit something. Any problems?
Yes, I mucked up the square right off the straight here and went into the tyres and had to reverse out and lost a load of time. So we're languishing anyway after our first 2 stages, so we should be really just out there trying to make sure that the car works properly.
With the end of the rally in sight, Mike Taylor and Martin Haggett had settled into a rhythm and looked happy enough with 9th place finish this weekend. They were paced themselves over the remaining stages of the day, a championship result on their mind, of course.
Everything going to plan?
Yeah, going well. We're in 9th overall. We're not going to catch Duckworth in front of us. We're not going to get caught by Bayliss, I hope, so we're just backing off to get a finish and hopefully pick up a very good position in the championship.
And there'd be no change to 10th place overall either. Mike Bayliss and Sam Bailey continuing to keep the same pace all day. Consistency, the key for the pair as they aimed for a finish. Outside the top 10, it would still be the Class C lead for Gary Mason and John Matthews. They were having no problems, enjoying the stages as well. A perfect day's rallying for the pair so far in that Mark 1.
Still having fun?
Spot on at the minute, 1st in class at the minute, 10th overall, and we're John? 12th overall, sorry. So yeah, all thumbs up at the minute, just hope we stay there.
And there'd be no change for Kevin Boyle and Irene Lucy. They remain 2nd place in Class C through these stages, still just behind Mason, the gap not looking like it would change though now. At least not the gap up ahead anyway. The gap behind was another matter altogether. Stuart Ramby and Ian Bass in 3rd place in the class, just 3 seconds back from Boyle up ahead. Things were still on track for Benjamin and Stephen Smith. They were happy with the pace now and wouldn't be looking to change that. 4th place in Class C, 21st on our leaderboard. And a consistent approach was showing for Paul Lawrence and Dane Walker. No change in these stages. 5th place in Class C for the pair. Just 2 stages remaining here in Lincolnshire. Andy Graham and Ian Owen come out of stage 7 with the Class B lead. The win there was looking good for the pair if they could just continue as they were.
How's it going?
It's getting a bit hot, to be honest, but we were running 1st in class, which I think we still are, but we just overshot the square 90 right down the hill first time around, so on the last stage, not this one, which lost us about 20 seconds, I think, but I think we're still in lead in our class, so 2 more stages to go, see how we do.
For Mark and John Burton, it would still be 2nd. They would, however, come into service with a serious problem, and it would be a rush to see if they could get that repaired in time for the final stages of the day.
We had a problem on the stage before where we lost a load of time, 30 seconds. We gained 19 seconds back towards the class win, and I think we've just dropped a cylinder there. So hence, well, we're pushing the car. Yeah, so all being well, if we can get in, get it sorted, and get back out and get back on it again. Fingers crossed.
Paul Stevenson and Jeff Roberts end this loop with third place in the class behind Burton. Of course, everything could be about to change in the following stages for the pair. There's no change though for Paddy and Tom Homan. The Class A lead was still theirs, and it looked like that was the way things would end up. Mark Anderson and Ian Humphrey, meanwhile, end the loop with second place in the class, 32 seconds back from the Puma up ahead and ready to take advantage should said Puma have any problems. For Sam Johnson and Joe Morgan, it will be third in the class. They were only 8 seconds back in that position and would have to decide if they wanted to push or play it safe. There's change in Class B now as we see Howard Alexander and our cameraman Jamie McTavish move up into fourth place in the class. Jamie not getting much camera work done, but still with an outside chance of the class co-driver's title, so the pair were giving it all they had. And for Andy Peckover and Kevin Blackford, it will be fifth place in the class at this stage. The Rally Me cars making more appearances in the top of the class result as the season went on. For Ian Barnes and Stuart Popplewell, it will be fourth place in Class A, 39th place on our overall leaderboard at this stage in the rally. And there'd be no change to fifth place in the class. Tim Andrews and Cara Bolch remaining in that position, as well as in 40th overall. So we have just 2 more stages remaining. The results are far from final. Still all to play for, battles throughout the field. And those battles all still as hot as the weather this weekend at Cadwell Park. Now, we all started out doing this special stage thing because we are rally fans. So to see people like Johnny Milner here with his X-Works Sleeker and Roger Duckworth with his X-Works Super Impreza is really what we came into this to be watching and seeing out on those stages. Roger, thank you firstly for bringing this car out to entertain the spectators. And when you got the boost problem sorted out, you've certainly been doing that. Just tell us a bit about this car, because I understand it was a certain Finn's car.
Yeah, it's started off life in 2000, so it's getting towards historic now. Originally driven by Juha Kankkunen on, I think 1,000 Lakes was its first event. So I didn't do too many events as a works car. I think it won possibly Circuit of Ireland with McGarity. And then it went back to Pro Drive and was a test car for them until I bought it in 2004. So I've had it for a very long time.
You have, and you've had some good results with it as well. And stage 3 onwards here, you've been pushing on, and I think you got fastest stage time in stage 3, perhaps.
Yeah, stage 3, I think we were fastest, but then everyone woke up and beat us in the next one. The last one, Johnny just pipped us. It's just like the old days, really. It's Johnny, myself, we used to battle in National Championship.
Now, for those who are uninitiated, it takes an awful lot of not just money, but effort to keep cars like this running and competitive, doesn't it? In front of sourcing parts, keeping them running, making sure they're in tip-top condition. You could go out and buy a newer top-end car. You must be passionate about this car and about the sport to be competing in something as iconic as this.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's like an old pair of shoes now. I'm so used to it that I'm probably too old to change to some new modern machinery. And, you know, we can keep them running, you can get the parts. We don't do a huge amount of rallying, so that helps as well. And Autosportif Engineering, who look after it, have looked after it since I first owned it. So they know it, they know where the parts are, so it all works fine.
It's certainly good to see Roger's car as well as I say, that ex-Carlos Sainz Celica out here. And that is one of the things that makes the Motorsport News Circuit Championship so great. The variety out there on the stages. It speaks for itself, as does the action. More of that right now. On we go then to the final results. And Mark and John Burton don't make it back out, meaning change in Class B. And it will be Adam Hanna and Wayne Wood taking that 5th place in the class at the end of the event. No change for Tim Andrews and Cara Bolch. 5th place in Class A was theirs at the finish, also taking 36th place on the leaderboard. Indeed, things remaining the same for Ian Barnes and Stuart Popplewell. They take 4th place in the class at the end of the rally, 35th place overall. Andy Peckover and Kevin Blackford gain a position in Class B with the loss of Burton in that XR2. They move up to take 4th place in the class, 34th overall. And it would be a podium in the class for Howard Alexander and Jamie McTavish. 3rd place in Class B would be enough to get the pair 2nd in the class for the championship season overall. A great way to end the season for the pair. For Sam Johnson and Joe Morgan, it would be 3rd place in Class A this weekend. They did exactly what they needed to do, taking the Class A title in the championship this season. Meanwhile, for Mark Anderson and Ian Humphrey, it would be second place in the class here at Cadwell. A few missed rounds, meaning they could only manage fourth in the championship over the season, however. And for Paddy and Tom Homan, it would be the Class A victory this weekend. The pair not registered for the championship, so it would just be about the rally victory this weekend for the pair. Problems earlier in the day had put John Richardson and Eric Wilcoxon down our leaderboard. They do, though, manage to climb up slightly to take 5th place in Class C this weekend. For Paul Stevenson and Jeff Roberts, it was a strong 2nd place in Class B here at Cadwell. A good result for the pair as they finish in 27th overall. And just ahead of them on the overall results were Tony Reid and Helen Russell. They enjoyed a good run to take 4th place in Class C by the finish of the rally. So with Burton missing from Class B, this weekend's class win would go to Andy Graham and Ian Owen. The pair there to pick up the pieces after the problems for the class leaders and happy with their victory. It will be a good end to the weekend as well for Benjamin and Stephen Smith. 3rd place in Class C to end the rally for the pair, whose speed had improved as the rally went on. And at the top of the Class C tree this weekend, there'd be no change. Kevin Boyle and Irene Lucy reached the end of the rally with 2nd place in the class, as well as 16th place on the leaderboard. But the win this weekend in that class would go to Gary Mason and John Matthews. Class C victory and 3rd in the class overall for the season as well. The pair also taking victory in the class winners draw, getting themselves a full set of Michelin tyres to use into next season. Let's go on to our top 10 overall here at the final round of the championship then, and there would be no change in 10th place. Mike Bayliss and Sam Bailey continuing to hold that position right through the day, 5th in the class. Mike Taylor and Martin Haggett judged their pace well into the final stages of the day, managing to keep hold of that 9th place overall and 4th in the class in what has become a very strong field. Indeed, it will be 4th place in the class for the season as well for Mike. Roger Duckworth and Mark Broomfield maintained their pace through the final stages to end the rally with 8th. They might not have enjoyed the close battle overall with Johnny Milner like their good old Ancro days, but they did put in some good times once they got themselves in the groove through the afternoon. Martin Hodgson and Tony Jones end this weekend with 7th place overall. Their results this season would give Martin 3rd in the Drivers' Class Championship and Tony 2nd place. A good end to the season for the pair. And for Graham Bell and Russ Radford, it was a great end to the season, keeping the pace through the afternoon and ending the day with 6th place overall, 4th in the class. A good run once again in the Proton, leaving with no damage after a good, fun and fast weekend of rallying. Ian Woodhouse and Paul Rowland do what they needed to do this weekend, ending the event with 5th place overall, 2nd in the class. But all that wouldn't matter. The pair, the newly crowned Motorsport News Circuit Rally champions for 2016 into 17. And before we see the final event results here this weekend, we caught up with our new champions at the finish to get their reaction to that news.
Ian, Paul, you came here knowing you were favourites with the obvious situation in hand, but it is never over until it's over. You put up a great fight today. You were almost on the podium.
Almost, yeah, but I wasn't really fighting for the podium, to be honest. I still had a little thing in the back of my mind that Paul Swift was going to be here, but obviously we've turned it up and he wasn't, so I thought it's there to win.
I might have done that to you when I told you he probably was going to be, because we just had to keep the fight going, didn't we? Steve Quigley was, you know, the man who could have picked it up, but you had to do what you were doing and you did exactly that.
Yeah, I mean, bless him, he was working hard to try and get the championship, and it gave us an easier afternoon when he had a problem this morning, so it's still hard to believe that we've got it really when we started out in November and here we are in April with the championship win.
You have to look at it like this. This is currently the UK's top tarmac rally championship. And you guys are champions.
It hasn't sunk in yet, really. So we've been saying all day, hasn't it, since we knew we've won. We've been like, we still race, it hasn't sunk in, but it's getting there, you know.
I don't think it'll be real until we get the Motorsport News on Wednesday or Thursday.
That's going to be a good day, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Right,
definitely.
Well, for now, enjoy the celebrations. You better go and have a word with that Michelin man. I'm sure he's got some champagne for you somewhere.
Yeah, hopefully.
Cheers.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you. Thanks, Paul.
So our champions have been crowned. The focus would be on the results from this weekend then, and taking a fantastic 4th place overall with Jamie Elston and Sean Ridlington. The pace had been great all weekend. From that fastest time on the opening stage, 4th was a good end to the day, just 33 seconds behind the lead. It will be a great fight back as well for David Tin and Giles Dykes through the final stages of the day. They move up to take 3rd place overall at the end of the rally. They would, of course, been happier with victory, but given their problems, this would have been a very welcomed result had it been handed to them at the start. So what about that battle at the top? Johnny and Katie Milner go into the final stage with just a 5-second lead over Chris West and Keith Hounslow. Milner posting a time of 5 minutes 15 seconds, meaning West would need a 5-minute 10 or better to take victory. And giving it all he had, as we've come to expect this season. Managing a time of 5 minutes and 7 seconds, it is West taking victory here this weekend by just 3 seconds. A battle to the very last corner here at the championship finale at Cadwell Park, and a fitting tribute to what had been a very thrilling final round, and an even more thrilling championship once again in its 2nd running this season. So before we chat to our podium finishers, here's a reminder of those final times at the end of the Motorsport News Circuit Rally Championship. Chris, Keith, I don't know where to start. You've sort of fought back, you've fought forward, you've had it, you've lost it, and we were all stood here looking at times, working out whether you'd have beaten, quite frankly, a rally legend to victory here at Cadwell.
Yeah, no, I struggled today really, and had some ups and downs, and had a high-speed spin. But no, I don't know how I caught him, to be honest. And the fact I just took a bit of time out of on the last one, we were absolutely pushing like mad, and I couldn't have done it without Billy. I mean, he was absolutely spot on. But yeah, I'm just as shocked as everybody else, to be honest. I didn't think we had it, and I was a bit gutted come driving back in here. Tell you, I was thinking, no, we haven't done it, because there was a couple of places I made some mess ups. But yeah, we have, and I don't know how I've done it. So I'm over the moon.
2nd win this season as well. Your family have been sharing those emotions with you as you came in here as well. He says he had a high-speed spin. I don't think you had anything low-speed, did you?
No, it was a flat-out full-on all the way, really. Yeah, there was very little mistakes, and he's a very good driver. Yeah, very good.
Everything comes at you quite quickly here, doesn't it?
Certainly does. Yeah. Over blind crests, things like that. Yeah. The tyres are really working hard. Yeah, very good.
Well, that is one heck of a podium you've lined up for us there. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Cheers. Thanks.
Well, just like last time you came here, you have given us some entertainment and spectacle out there. I know you enjoyed that. I also know it was hard work. In the end, it came down to not even a handful of seconds.
No, that's it. I mean, that's what rallying's about. And I mean, I've been out of it for quite some time now. I'm pleased I was on the pace. I was looking for a top 10, so I'm very happy. Yeah. But yeah, to lose it on the last stage, he's driven extremely well. I mean, fair play. He has pedalled that, and the lads have been watching him and said he is on a ragged edge. And that's what rallying's about, and it should be on the ragged edge. And it's great that this type of championship has that style of driving and those committed drivers, which is, onward and upward.
And a leaderboard that shows just seconds between it. Katie, I know that your direction in motorsport is very much the circuit racing kind, but that must have been some experience out there alongside this man.
Yeah, I couldn't really ask for a better driver to be alongside. It's totally different to what I expected, but no, we've had a really good day and I've really enjoyed it.
Was that actually your first taste of being in a rally car then?
Pretty much, yeah, apart from down the road in the Corolla, but yeah.
How old were you when he sealed his last BRC win?
Oh, I would have been about 3.
Amazing. Well, I can tell you, I remember it well, and it is great to have you back here fighting. Wasn't to be today. We'll see you soon.
It's been fun. No regrets. Well done, everybody else. It's what the spectators have come to watch, and it's been a cracking day for everybody. Yeah. Thank you very much.
I agree. We're all sunburned as well out here. Good luck with the season.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, David, Giles, that was some fight back after your problems earlier on. It looked like you were dead and buried in the bottom end of the top 10, and look what happened.
Yeah, we pulled it off in the end. I mean, the car's been fantastic. That's rallying. We have these small problems. We got over it. We've been cracking the times in. All but we would have been hat-trick, but great result for Chris. Fantastic for Johnny Milner. Over the moon for them both. We've had a great day at Cadwell, as we always do. Job's a good one.
It's a good podium to be a part of, isn't it, Giles?
Yeah, that's 4 podiums in a row we've managed, so really pleased we stuck in today and turned another one out, yeah.
You certainly have. I've got to ask, how's Alice doing in Australia?
Thailand at the moment, PP Island in the sun. Having a great time.
So she's not gutted, she's missing out on this?
Been on the texting all day.
Guys, great result. Well done. That was some fight back.
Thank you.
So confirmation then of the final championship points at the end of an exciting season. Ian Woodhouse, our new champion. Paul Swift settling for second place, having not been present at the final round to fight for that victory. And Steve Quigley sadly missing out once again to take third place. Well, I don't know how to express how excited I am about that podium. Just look at that. We've got a Group A Celica, we've got a 306 Maxi and an S2000 or Millington engined Proton Satria on the podium here at the final round. What a championship season, what a final round. Ian Woodhouse, Paul Rowlands are our 2017 Motorsport News Circuit champions. But today the celebrations look like that as well. Thank you for watching Special Stage. It's been another fabulous season. It's been great to have you along.